York is the perfect place for football.
Football.
Greats make it here while some don't last. The Jets put a Tebow cause he couldn't pass. And Sanchez is taking more shots than A-Rod's shoulder.
No place like New York.
This town made Bill Parcells, the Babe, and LT.
Also, Broadway Joe, Derek Jeter, the Donald, and Tiki.
Tiki, you're fired.
I don't even work for you.
Ha ha! That's the stuff, New York!
And the whole city's looking forward to the Super Bowl.
From the hipsters down in Williamsburg,
Our shirts are ironic.
to the football fans on Old Broadway. Even talk show host we love the most can spell excitement every day.
I'm pretty sure some of that is urine.
Yeah, but it's from all the excitement.
Yes, it gets cold, but it's never too bleak. If you need something hot, check out our picks of the week.
Falcons, Niners, Jets, and Giants. Because New York's where legends refuse to fail, and very few tight ends end up in jail. Atlanta's the Super Bowls in New York. New York.
Hey, genius. The Super Bowl is in New Jersey.
For real?
I think I would know.
All right, everybody back to one. New Jersey is a place for football.
I'm glad they didn't tell us that to the end of the show. We talked about New York so much. Hey, look who was champion last year.
Yes, sir.
Back-to-back titles for Mr. Strahan.
#1, baby.
All right, let's get to this year's picks. We want to start right away. First game, Falcons and Saints. Rob is taking the Falcons. Jimmy.
I like his pick. I'm going with Atlanta.
This is a hard
Upset.
one. This is a hard one to pick, but I got to go to Atlanta.
I'll go with Atlanta. Not me, baby. New Orleans.
All right, Rob likes the Niners to whack the pack. Who you taking, Jimmy?
I'm on board. 49ers.
Niners.
Niners at home.
Not me, baby. Green Bay.
You're the contrarian today. Rob's upset special. He's got the Jets to beat the Bucks. Jimmy.
Popular pick. I'm going Cincinnati over Chicago.
You know where I'm going. What city are we in? I'm going New York Giants over the Dallas Cowboys.
I go with Miami. Minnesota Vikings.
Wild card picks. Rob has the Giants to win in Big D. Jimmy, yours is Minnesota at Detroit.
Minnesota over Detroit.
Michael, Cincinnati at Chicago.
Sorry, Howie. I got to go with Cincinnati.
Howie, Seattle at Carolina.
I'll go with Seattle.
TB at NYJ.
Always TB.
Always go
Always.
with TB. All right,
TB.
guys.
Or not to be.
Guys, opening kickoff is just moments away. One last time to say goodbye. Look at my face right there in the middle. There you are, TB.
There I am. Looking
Michael
good.
said Howie's head is actually life-size, but I'm not going to repeat that.
Oh, I did not say that.
That does it for this live edition from Times Square. Football season's back, guys.
Good start, Kurt. Way to go.
Oh, boy. Way to throw me under the bus for something I did not say.
Opening week in the NFL. Am I going to miss it? Hell yeah, I'm going to miss this. Are you kidding me? Who wouldn't miss this? I'd be a fool if I told you I wasn't going to miss this.
Kickoff weekend in the National Football League. Here come the New Orleans Saints. It's the Saints and the Falcons on Fox. The return of New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton. And a good afternoon, everybody. We welcome you to season number 20 of the NFL on Fox. Kenny Albert, along with Moose and Goose, Darryl Johnston, and Tony Siragusa. An electric atmosphere here at the Dome, Darryl, as Sean Payton gets set to coach his first regular season game in over 20 months.
And it's been like this since Friday when we got into the city of New Orleans. Now, obviously, Sean Payton being back on the sideline is going to be a tremendous emotional boost. But two areas I'm looking for improvement from this Saints team from last year. The running game. Sean Payton, watching his team, felt they got away from the running game. I expect that to be a presence today and throughout throughout the season, and complementary football. This team was fragmented as an offense, defense, and special teams last year. I think this year you're going to see a more unified approach with Sean Payton back on the sideline.
And the Saints today not only face a division rival, but a Falcons squad that had the best record in the NFC last year, 13-3.
Yeah, and how good are the Atlanta Falcons? Good enough to get Tony Gonzalez out of retirement. He actually retired for a couple weeks in the offseason. His son Nico convinced him to come back for one more year. You're too talented. You were too close last year to give up on that Super Bowl. We all know about the offense and how good they are. The question is on the defensive side of the ball. Asante Samuel is inactive today. They are young and inexperienced on the corner going against one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Always fun when these teams get together. Drew Brees and the Saints take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons next. Back in New Orleans, kickoff weekend. Division rivals, the New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons have won the toss, will receive. Thomas Morstead will get things started. And we are underway from the Superdome in New Orleans. Matt Ryan and the Falcons offense will start from their own 20-yard line.
Now coming off a career high in quarterback rating last season, and to hear Tony Gonzalez say he's even elevated his game. You know, he came back and got into training camp with Matt Ryan and couldn't believe the strides that he had made.
Ryan now in his 6th season. Has been to the playoffs 4 times. On first down, Steven Jackson, who's talked about a moments ago, his first carry as a member of the Atlanta Falcons.
And he's a tremendous addition to an already talented skill group. But here's the big question. Peter Kahns moves from right guard to center. Garrett Reynolds gets the start at right guard. Some experience there. Lamar Holmes, his first start. How does this offensive line hold up against this Saints defense? They've got to toe the line if these guys are going to shine this afternoon.
Second down and 7. Again, it is Jackson. 9 years in St. Louis. Jackson out to the 28-yard line, a gain of 5, setting up 3rd down and 2.
And to be able to come out and lean on your running back on the road in a hostile environment, all the emotion that is in this building right now, it's a huge plus to have that guy being as productive he's been on those first 2 carries. He's going to have to play like that all afternoon to take pressure off this passing offense.
Ryan from the shotgun, 3rd down and 2. His first pass attempt is intended for Tony Gonzalez. No flags. Falcons go 3 and out.
Well, that is excellent coverage by Will Herring on one of the best, the best to play the position at tight end in the NFL. Just that little pivot route right there. Maybe got away with a little bit of a hold and tug. Tony Gonzalez is looking for it as he gets up.
Just a little bit.
Matt Bosher back at his own 13-yard line. Darren Sproles back deep for the Saints. Good kick taken at the 16 by Sproles. One of the best in the business, but a terrific play on special teams. Antone Smith holds Sproles to a return of just one, a 56-yard punt, and now first series of the regular season for Drew Brees and the Saints offense.
Yeah, and you look what he did last season. This offense just did not go away.
without Sean Payton here. The big thing that Drew wants to correct, those 19 interceptions. Cannot have those types of turnovers. But when we talked to Sean Payton, one of the things he said about this offense, it did not play complementary football. We were struggling defensively last year. As well as they played, they even had to play better to carry that defense.
Mark Ingram in the backfield. Brees looking to throw on first down, and the pass is caught out of the 34-yard line by Lance Moore.
Charles Brown gets the start at left tackle, the first time that Jermon Bushrod hasn't been out there on that blind side in 3 years. We'll keep an eye on him, how he holds up this afternoon. But again, if you're going to run the ball, it's going to be up to those guys up front. And here's another problem, very similar to what Atlanta has, a very talented skill group on the outside.
Following the 16-yard pass play, empty backfield. First and 10 from the 33-yard line for Brees and the Saints. And this time, Brees under pressure, forced to throw it away.
Roy Bierman, a very unique athlete for the Atlanta Falcons. You're going to see him lined up all over the field today. He's coming off the edge right here on this one, working against Zach Strief, just pushing that pocket deep. And there comes O.C. Umenyiora. Can he be that other guy on the other side? They lost Jonathan Abraham. You lose a ton of production as a pass rusher in that situation. They're going to have to lean on O.C. Umenyiora to fill that void.
10 years with the New York Giants. Ingram in the backfield.
Kill. 5-5-2. Ready. 90. Nice up.
On second and 10, this is Ingram, the former Heisman Trophy winner. And he works his way out to the 35-yard line, gain of just 2, setting up third down and 8.
We've talked about the Saints wanting to commit to the run more, but when you look at this defense for the Atlanta Falcons, there's going to be some youth in the secondary. How can you stay that course? You've got to take advantage of some of your matchups. The NFL is all about matchups. So with Desmond Trufant being at the corner as your rookie first-round draft pick, Asante Samuel inactive today. Robert McClain shifts over to that side. And second-round pick Robert Alford's going to get some extended snaps today. You can't give up on those matchups.
3 wide receiver set, third down and 8. Brees airing it out, and the pass is broken up by the man you just mentioned, Alford, the second-round pick out of Southeastern Louisiana. Pass intended for the rookie Kenny Stills.
Good coverage by Robert Alford here, stride for stride down the sideline. Good position, got one-on-one, got tested early. That's going to be great for his confidence moving forward this afternoon.
Yeah, that defensive line is doing a really nice job of getting some pressure and forcing some not bad throws, but quicker than he wants to throw them.
Morstead, Pro Bowl punter a season ago. Harry Douglas backpedals all the way to the 10-yard line. Return out to the 17. Falcons went 3 and out on their first possession. When we return, another chance for Matt Ryan and the Atlanta offense. Ryan to the air on first down, and the pass is caught, taken out across the 28 by Harry Douglas. So the Falcons pick up a first down. Matt Ryan last season set franchise records for attempts, completions, completion percentage, yards, touchdowns. Finished just shy of winning the NFC, reaching the Super Bowl. Julio Jones coming off a terrific second season. Jones out to the 35, gain of 6.
And he was the other guy that Tony Gonzalez mentioned when he came back that really jumped out, not just Matt Ryan, but also Julio Jones. A lot of people think he's poised for that breakout year. He is just a phenomenal athlete. Speed-wise, elevation, explosiveness, he's got everything.
A Pro Bowler a season ago. Second down and 5. Jackson. And Steven Jackson is close to another Falcons first down. Time for a game break. We head to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt. Joel.
And we head to Detroit, where on the first touch of the season, Adrian Peterson, the reigning NFL MVP, 78 yards to the house. Peterson trying to go for 2,500 on the season. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
What a start.
Unbelievable.
Coming off an incredible season last year. Off the play fake to Jackson. Bryant up the middle, wide open. It is Douglas. And Harry Douglas is finally forced out of bounds. Lost the football at the end of the run. Keenan Lewis forced him out. A 52-yard pass play.
This is just a great play. We just talked about Julio Jones, so you're going to be nervous about Julio extending down the field. But watch Harry Douglas from the opposite side on the in route. Comes all the way across the field into that voided space. Malcolm Jenkins, a bad angle coming in from the safety spot to make that tackle.
Matt Ryan had a lot of time. That offensive line is doing a great job of picking up the blitz. They brought 5 in that last.
You know, they really are, Tony, and that was one of the things that we wanted to keep our eye in, especially that right side of the line. And I tell you what, Lamar Holmes, he is athletic, he is big, he's doing a nice job out there, and they're leaving him on his own the majority of the time. He's not getting any help.
On first and goal from the 10-yard line, this is Jackson. And he's wrapped up from behind by Akeem Hicks. Jackson gains 3.
And I think this is the area of the field where Steven Jackson is going to pay huge dividends for Atlanta this season. Once you get inside the red zone, you've got to be able to run the ball effectively. And this guy, as Tony talked about in the beginning, he is a beast coming out of the backfield, run and pass.
No, Moose, one thing I couldn't believe when reading all the information that we get, never been to the playoffs.
Never had a winning season, Tony. He was 8-8 in St. Louis a couple times, but he's never been on a team that's had a winning season.
Broderick Bunkley is the injured Saint. Back in a moment.
On Fox is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Broderick Bunkley, the former first-round pick of the Eagles, the injured New Orleans Saint, replaced by the rookie out of Georgia, third-round pick, John Jenkins. Second and goal for the Falcons from the 7. Jason Snelling in the backfield. Ryan moving to his right. Looking end zone. He throws, and it's Tony Gonzalez for the touchdown.
Just a great feel. He's got such innate ability to find that little opening, that little soft spot. Nice job by Matt Ryan extending it. Tony Gonzalez, 88, coming from the outside. The little pick plays on the outside, just continues to work. Look at that. He sees the defender in front of him, sneaks behind him. Credit to Matt Ryan, getting outside the pocket, eyes down the field to be able to find him.
There's that basketball background. Right?
Pick and roll.
Played hoops at Cal. And Darryl, you talked about it during our open. He actually did retire. Son Nico convinced him to come back for another season. His 104th career receiving touchdown and a slam dunk.
By Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Rockstar Games Grand Theft Auto 5, coming September 17th, rated M for mature.
7-0 lead for the Falcons as Matt Ryan finds Tony Gonzalez for the first Atlanta touchdown of this 2013 season.
Broderick Bunkley is also headed to the locker room right now, Kenny.
All right, thanks, Goose. Darren Sproles from the goal line. Rolls out to the 23-yard line. There's Bunkley heading off, as Goose mentioned.
That's one of those big bodies in that defensive line. And take a look at what happened here. 77 right there. Watch as he's just resisting and he gets pushed back. You can see him reach down to that lower leg area right there.
Yeah, he was grabbing his calf, it looked like, when they were working with him on the sideline. That guy's like the anchor of that defense right there, playing a two-gap over the nose. Not an easy position at all.
And now the Saints offense goes back to work with 3 tight ends on the field. Off the fake to Ingram. Pass is caught by the former Patriot and Brown. Ben Watson for a short gain of 2.
It was interesting to hear Drew Brees say how excited he was for this season. He said it was the first normal offseason they'd had in 4 years. You go back to 09, you win the Super Bowl, you've got a lot of obligations and distractions in that offseason. The following year is the lockout with the CBA, and then last year, of course, his contract holdout, and then the Bounty Gate scandal. So this is the first year that he's been able to be in and around his guys, and he was really, really excited for this offense.
On 2nd and 8 here, Sproles out of the backfield. He's caught more passes than any other running back in the league over the last 2 seasons. Sproles gains 14 and a Saints first down.
And I think him in combination with Jimmy Graham, it's just such a difficult matchup for defenses. There's so much speed and change of direction with Darren Sproles, and Jimmy Graham is such a huge target. And you forget about the other guys, you know, Lance Moore, Marques Colston. I mean, so many playmakers on this offense.
Yo, ready. Yo, ready. Easy. Kill. Like 5-2. Ready. Percent.
1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. This is Pierre Thomas. And Thomas gains 4 out to the 42-yard line. Akeem Dent makes the tackle.
Drew Brees gets out on that field. It's absolutely like having a coach with you on the field. You can see him changing the play, calling the defense. It was a look that he was prepared for. They had 5 big guys across the front. And again, going back to something that Sean Payton wants to do, he wants to have a better presence in the run game.
Waiting. Easy. Opposite. Like 5-2. Ready. 20%.
2nd down and 6. This is Sproles. Gain of 2 out to the 44-yard line. Corey Peters, the tackle.
You know, I think sometimes people get caught up in the belief that this is an explosive offense that relies heavily on the pass, but when they won their Super Bowl in 09, they were a top 10 rushing team, and they've got to get back and find that balance and strike that balance.
Saints must get to the 48 for a first down. Brees backpedals, dumps it off. And Sean Weatherspoon able to bring down Thomas. It will depend on the spot.
Exactly how you draw it up, right, Goose?
Yeah, exactly.
Thomas stopped just shy.
I have been impressed with the pressure that Atlanta is getting on Drew Brees in this early part of the game. And, you know, some of that is the coverage. That was one of the areas of concern that we thought Atlanta may have, that young, inexperienced secondary. But right now it looks like they're doing a good job of holding up because Drew has to hold that ball, and that's allowing that front to get some pressure on him.
Yeah, especially OCU Manura. Not happy with the spot.
Terrific tackle by Weatherspoon. So Sean Payton with a decision to make, and looks like he will leave his offense on the field 4th and inches.
Yeah, bringing in the big bodies. Bryce Harris as a tackle comes in. Bring in Jed Collins, a fullback. Now, is this something they would have done last year without Sean Payton on the sideline? These are the decisions that you were going to miss last year. You know, I don't know if Aaron Cromer was going to do this in this situation last year. Week 1, divisional game. You know, we've talked about this as must-win playoff scenarios. People bantering during the course of the week, and this is where you need the leader, the unified leader on that sideline to make these types of decisions right here.
The guy who started the second half of Super Bowl 44 with an onside kick. On 4th and inches, Ingram is bottled up. So Sean Payton and the Saints go for it on 4th down, and the Falcons defense comes up large.
Very impressed with Atlanta's defense up to this point in the game. They've done a nice job, both pass and here, stuffing the run on short yardage.
Nothing, and now we'll start in Saints territory after the Atlanta defense stops Mark Ingram on 4th down.
That's also a vote of confidence from Sean Payton about his defense. When you go for a 4th down, when you do a fake punt, you're telling your defense, hey, if this doesn't work, I have confidence you to come out and make that stop. We'll see if it's justified.
Bryant to the fullback, Brady Ewing. And Ewing, who missed all of last season on injured reserve, gains 15 out of Falcons' 1st down.
I mean, really, you look at an offense and you've got Roddy White, Julio Jones, Tony Gonzalez, and I think Brady Ewing is going to get overlooked quite often during the course of the season. He could have a lot of plays like that where he gets out into the flat and catches a pass, and they've dropped him in coverage.
His first career reception, Roddy White split wide to the right. He's been in and out of the lineup during this first quarter, bothered by an ankle injury. Did start the game, extending his streak. 129 consecutive starts for Roddy, and now Steven Jackson gains a yard. Time for another game break with Joel Klatt. Joel?
Let's go to Indianapolis, where Andrew Luck leads a 10-play, 89-yard drive. He was 5 for 5, and he finds New Orleans native Reggie Wayne in the end zone. 7-0. Back to you guys, Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
All right, thanks, Joel. So a good start for Andrew Luck, who led the Colts in the postseason as a rookie.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Robert Griffin III and Russell Wilson. Andrew Luck, nobody talks about the guy. I thought what he did last year in Indianapolis was more impressive than any of the young quarterbacks.
Bryant on 2nd and 9 swings it out, and just talked about Jackson's receiving ability out of the backfield, and Jackson gains 3.
Curtis Lofton, leader of that defense right now, and this was a group that I mean, the worst in history. You don't have to say anything more than that. The worst defense in NFL history. They've got that tag. And then you're coordinated by Rob Ryan, who's had 3 different jobs in 5 years. This is like the Bad News Bears on the defensive side of the ball right now, and they've got a chip on their shoulder.
Bryant on 3rd and 6, takes off, picks up a 1st down, and then slides. And there are flags after the hit made by the rookie out of Texas, 1st-round pick, Kenny Vaccaro.
He took a big shot to the ribs right there on that play.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness laid hit on the quarterback. Defense. Number 32. Half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
You can see he's got the padding down there around those rib cage, but it doesn't matter. Now he's declared. Well, I tell you, I know, Kenny Vaccaro, you've got to be responsible for your body. And a lot of fans for the Saints right now are saying, hey, that was a late slide by Matt Ryan. But you can see it is always going to lean towards the safety issue. Kenny Vaccaro has to be responsible for his body and not put himself in that situation.
First penalty flag of the game. Sets up 1st and goal from the Saints 7. Jackson. Jackson takes it inside the 4-yard line.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's holding his side. I watched him after the play when all the attention was on Jackson on that run. I mean, he is not healthy right now.
You wonder if it's the hip, Tony, because you can see that big guard on his rib cage area, but you've got nothing below that. And I don't see any hip pads in there or anything. And that is one of the worst spots to get hit on because you are so vulnerable. I think he may have gotten it on the hip, and your bone sits right beneath your skin there. It is as painful as anything you can have happen.
Joe Hawley in as an extra blocker. Jaquiz Rodgers in the backfield. 2nd and goal. Rodgers, stutter step, and then wrapped up. Initially by Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, Jaquiz Rodgers just stutters in the backfield, and you can't do that. When you're in this red zone like this and you're back with the ball, you got to go and make your decision and go with it and keep your legs moving forward. If you stutter in the backfield, that's when you're going to have a problem to get stuck.
And there's Lamar Holmes, one of the guys we talked about early on. That's a heck of a job taking Cam Jordan and driving him down inside. I've been impressed with his play at right tackle so far.
3rd and goal. Ryan moves to his right and then throws it through the back of the end zone.
Big stop for this defense, Darryl.
A huge stop, and they did earn the respect of Sean Payton by going for it on 4th down and then holding them to a field goal, especially when Atlanta got down here. And again, there's some good pressure being dialed up by that front 4.
And they are not letting Tony Gonzalez get any air between him and the defender at all.
So here's Matt Bryant, 23-yard attempt from the left hash. Bosher places it down, and Bryant's kick is straight through. So the Falcons extend their lead, but some concern for their quarterback following a hit on Ryan by Vaccaro. Goal with the short field. Bosher kicks it off. No return. Saints will start from their 20-yard line. Well, this Tuesday, it's the premiere of Being the Finest on Fox Sports 1. Follow the lives of NYPD officers who come together on the football field and honor their fallen brother through their unforgettable 2013 season. Being the Finest premieres Tuesday only on Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to do that game. Firemen against the police officers in New York. Tell you what, those guys are serious about that game.
You can see it on Fox Sports 1 Super Bowl week. Up the middle, it's Thomas. Bierman and Moore combined to bring him down. Gain of 7 for Pierre Thomas. We've seen Thomas in the backfield. Mark Ingram, Darren Sproles running back by committee. Travaris Cadet also active today.
Yep, that's your running back by committee is done as well as anybody in the NFL is doing it right now. And they're not designated for specific roles. They can run, they can catch, they can do it all. Pass protection, very talented group of running backs.
On 2nd and 3, it is Thomas again. And this time he loses yardage. Good job by Troy Bierman.
You know, Darryl, I got a quick question. You talk about all the different running backs back there, and they're really not getting a lot of reps, you know, continuously. And I know on defense, you need a little bit of time in order to get your timing down. How does that affect the running back in the backfield by having to go in for a play, come out for 2 plays, go back in?
I think it's hard. I didn't like it. When I was playing fullback and with Chan Gailey, I was in and out of the lineup quite a bit. I could never get into any type of rhythm, so I think it's a good point, Tony. Do these guys ever feel like they can establish that rhythm where you're giving them the ball, you know, time after time?
Now an empty backfield, and it's Sproles who makes the catch on 3rd down and 4 and picks up a Saints 1st down with 6 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter.
One thing it does, it's really, really tough for a defensive lineman and linebackers. You know, when you have a big guy back there or a small guy like Sproles, you always have to go and identify who's back there and what they can do. Yep. Can they cut back 1 hole, 2 hole? It's tough.
1st quarter comes to an end here at the Louisiana Superdome with the Falcons leading the Saints 10-0. Pro Bowl safeties from a season ago, Thomas Deku and William Moore. First and 10 for the Saints from the 34-yard line. As Brees goes deep looking for Stills, and it is broken up by Robert McClain.
These guys are really stepping up. Here's a big shot. This is a full sell. This is play action. We're hard. We've got everybody in the box. We're taking a shot down the field. Robert McClain, stride for stride. Drew Brees a little bit underthrown to Kenny Stills. Needed to get that ball out a little bit sooner, let him run underneath it.
We had a lot of questions about these corners before this game, Darryl. I don't know. It seems like they're stepping up to the challenge.
Great job, eyes on the ball by Robert McClain.
McClain, usually the nickel back, getting the start today for the injured Asante Samuel, who is inactive. 2nd down and 10. And Sproles is brought down by Jonathan Babineau.
We talked about that defensive line on both sides of the ball. I'll tell you what, Atlanta's really doing a great job of penetrating and getting into their backfield, making it really hard for those running backs to make cuts. And then the pressure that they're bringing up front, I'll tell you what, this defensive line has really got some rhythm going right now.
Falcons defense ranked 24th last season. Empty backfield. 3rd down and 9.
52. 52.
Saints must get to the 45. Brees fires, and Jimmy Graham picks up the New Orleans first down in Falcons territory to the 44. A 21-yard pass play.
I tell you, no fear right here by the Atlanta Falcons defense. Their confidence is growing. They're man-to-man across the board, and we've talked about these matchup problems. Jimmy Graham able to take advantage of that. You mentioned William Moore, Thomas Deku. You've got to have great safeties when you're going to play against big tight ends and running backs out of the backfield, but Jimmy Graham wins that battle.
Pro Bowler 2 seasons ago. From the 44, Sproles takes it down to the 39-yard line for a gain of 5, setting up 2nd down and 5.
Finally hitting a rhythm on this series right here, this New Orleans Saints offense. Have not seen them up until this point in the game get into any type of a rhythm or a flow offensively. This drive, they finally kind of established that.
Record-setting offense 2 seasons ago under Sean Payton. They averaged 41 points per game here at home in 2011. And then no Payton last season. Brees on 2nd and 5, play action. And Thomas was able to pick up another Saints first down.
We talked about Kroy Bierman and his versatility on this defense. Look who's got Jimmy Graham in coverage right now.
Oh, man.
Kroy Bierman. And, you know, Drew Brees has got to be looking at that and going, all right, you know, he had some safety help over the top, but I've got to see that one pre-snap next time. But I don't know. Kroy does a good job. You know, we've seen him drop into the deep middle of the field in this defense.
Yeah, he does. And he's got them contacts in also, them yellow contacts. He says gives him better vision in there. I'll tell you, he looks scary when you see him on the field with those things in.
Easy, kill.
Very athletic. We've seen him score some spectacular touchdowns. 3 career scores for Bierman. Down to the 26-yard line, Mark Ingram. Bierman the tackle. We check in once again with Joel Klatt. Joel.
Kenny, a guy that both of these teams is going to have to face twice, Josh Freeman. He's going to find Mike Williams in the end zone for a 17-yard touchdown. It's Tampa up 7-2 over the Jets.
All right, thanks, Joel. This is Ingram once again, and this time he's forced back. Schillinger and Deku coming up from the safety position, forcing a loss of 4 yards.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration, you know, by Mark Ingram on that play as you see him walking back, but there was really nowhere for him to go. That was just defended very, very well by Atlanta. You know, everybody maintained contained, just pushed him to the sideline, push him to the sideline.
There's a couple defensive linemen right there. O.C.U. Manure and Jonathan Babineau trying to go and get a little pre-snap read, whether it's going to be run or pass.
Saints have 3 tight ends in the game, Goose, on 3rd down and 7. As Brees throws and it's broken up. Another good defensive play. This time it's the rookie Trufant.
They're stepping up. I mean, they're not covering him up. They're not helping him. A lot of times these guys are in straight man-to-man coverage.
We've seen all 3 of the corners, Alford, McLean, and now Trufant, break up passes today.
These 2 teams know each other very well, Darryl.
They split their 2 games last year. This is a 48-yard attempt. Garrett Hartley from the left hash. And Hartley's kick is good, just inside the left upright. So the Saints are on the board. They trail by 7.
Okay, it's the Built Ford Tough sales event, so let's crunch the numbers. See, when it comes to building stuff and hauling stuff to keep America growing, more folks count on Ford.
The 2013 Ford F-150 with EcoBoost. By the Samsung Galaxy S4, the next big thing is here. And by KFC, the official sponsor of Couch Gating. KFC plus football equals Couch Gating.
Back in New Orleans, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Saints on the board, 12 plays, 50 yards. Key play, Jimmy Graham, the 21-yard reception on third down, leading to the 48-yard Garrett Hartley field goal.
And the best rhythm that we've seen the Saints offense in on that last drive. So something good for them to build on. That's really important right now in week one, getting to the sideline and seeing the things that both of these teams hid the entire preseason and didn't show on film.
Falcons will start from the 20. They lead by 7 as we give you some of the flavor of New Orleans. Matt Ryan of the Falcons go to work from the 20-yard line. Ryan taking that hard hit from Kenny Vaccaro during the Falcons' last possession.
And the worst thing is sitting on that sideline, too, letting everything get tight.
Rodgers in the backfield. From the 20. Play action. Ryan throws and the catch is made for a first down, and then Julio Jones loses the football. It's picked up by Roman Harper. And Harper brings it all the way back to the Falcons' 31-yard line.
Let's take a look at the end of this. Julio Jones. See where his knee is. I say no. I say it's still up.
Nope. Remember, all turnovers are automatically reviewed. Looked to us like the ball came out before the knee hit.
And the good thing is you've got guys hustling to the tackle. And it was one of the things that Rob Bryant said. You watch Julio Jones and Roddy White and Tony Gonzalez, and you think spectacular athlete, but also very good after the catch. He told his guys, we've got to get to these guys, round them up, and get them to the ground. And when you do that, if the ball comes loose, your odds are much better than the other team. You're going to have all your players around that loose football.
The turnover has been confirmed. So the Saints take over at the Falcons 31. On first down, this is Thomas. Corey Peters wrapped him up. Gain of 5.
And here's that complimentary football we talked about at the top with Sean Payton. You know, the defense being able to generate a turnover. Now, they helped out their offense. The offense goes forward on fourth down. That defense holds Atlanta to a field goal. Now it's the offense's turn to take advantage of this short field and create some points.
Sproles in the backfield, 3 wide receiver set. Second down and 5. From the Atlanta 26, the handoff to Sproles. And again, it's Corey Peters on the tackle. Gain of 2.
A little bit of a slow start for this New Orleans Saints offense, but they've gotten into a rhythm. We talked about their last drive. Here they are again right now in great position with that turnover created by their defense. Getting better and better each drive. Patience.
Lance Moore in motion. Third down and 4.
Hey, 22 play. Hey, 52-71. 52-71, ready. You ready? What's up?
Brees on third down. To the end zone. Diving catch. Touchdown, Marques Colston.
What a great play call for the defense of the Atlanta Falcons were running, because they've got Akeem Dent walked up into the lineup. He's got a bail right here. Marques Colston is releasing. He's trying to run stride for stride with a receiver with his back turned. That is such a huge advantage to the Saints, and a perfectly thrown ball by Drew Brees.
With that catch, Colston is now the all-time franchise leader in receptions, 533. He had been tied with Eric Martin. The extra point ties the game. Saints capitalize on the Julio Jones turnover. Most for a quarterback receiver combo in NFL history after the Julio Jones turnover.
That complimentary football we're talking about, when your defense gives you a short field, you got to cash it in. If your offense makes a mistake, you got to have their back covered. Saints much better at it this afternoon. So this is one of those things you're going to have an opportunity. Here's Akeem Dent right here. Now, his job is to cover Marques Colston on a go route. That's very, very difficult. I mean, Marques Colston is ready to roll. You've got a linebacker that's got to turn his back. It's just a great matchup. Now, whether they anticipated that through scouting, which is very hard to say here in week one because people aren't going to show a lot during the course of preseason, or just Drew Brees at the line of scrimmage, recognizing something. You heard him call 52-71, knew that they were walked up into the line, got into a play for a touchdown.
So now the Falcons back to work. They led this game 10-0. Saints have come back to tie it. Off the fake to Jackson. Bryant, pump fake, now throws, and it's Jackson who breaks a tackle, picks up a first down, out to the 36-yard line, a gain of 16.
I think that that's a play that you don't have last year with Michael Turner as your big running back in the backfield. I mean, Steven Jackson on a check down. Tony said it in the beginning of the game. These DBs don't want to see him with the ball in his hand out there.
They don't know how to tackle him. They don't want to stay up. They're all going down at his legs, and he does a great job of getting his legs up off the ground and just hurtling over a lot of those guys.
Among active running backs, he is the leading all-time rusher and the leading receiver. Has 2 catches today. On first down from the 36. This time Jackson unable to make the catch. 2nd and 10 coming up. Time for a game break. Take it away, Joel Klatt.
Well, Moose and Goose, speaking of guys that nobody wants to tackle, Adrian Peterson, the reigning MVP, his 2nd touchdown of the game, 14-6 Minnesota.
Nobody wants to, and he's almost impossible to tackle.
He talked about 2,500 yards this year. I'll tell you what, he has a mindset for it, doesn't he?
Picking up where he left off last season. On 2nd down, again it's Jackson, and a terrific job by the swarming Saints defense led by David Hawthorne to hold Jackson to a short game.
I tell you, this defense, I don't think at any point last year this defense had any confidence in the scheme, what they were doing, their roles as individuals. Rob Bryant has brought in his defense. I think it fits the style. I think it fits the skill set of the individuals much better than Steve Spagnuolo's defense last year. They're excited about it. They've already generated more confidence in week one than they did at any point last year.
Falcons must get to the 46. And they do, as it is ruled a catch by Roddy White. Good for 14 yards and a Falcons first down.
And there's Matt Ryan hustling his guys up to the line of scrimmage to get a play called just in case they want to challenge this.
Well, the Falcons quickly up to the line. They get the snap away, so no challenge as Ryan dumps it off to Rodgers, and he's met immediately by Corey White.
Go back and take a look at that at the end by Roddy White. I think he's got it. 1 foot down, drags the back foot, has control all the way through the process. Great job working the sideline. He's been bumped around today.
Second down and 7 in Saints territory, tied at 10. Bryant steps up and hits Julio Jones. Again, it's Corey White who makes the tackle inside the 45-yard line. Gain of 3, so it will be 3rd down and 4.
How about the last 2 plays by Corey White, coming up and having a big physical tackle on Steven Jackson and then running stride for stride with Julio Jones on a crossing route. That's impressive.
Bryant on 3rd down and 4. Looking for Steven Jackson. Incomplete. Another good series for the Saints defense.
There's that push that defensive line needed to get. Look at his surge up front. Matt Ryan feels that pressure right in his face, goes to a check down, and it's not there.
It's great hustle by Cam Jordan. He was the left end on a twist, Tony, and he just kept working all the way to the defensive side, right side of the ball. Sam Baker looking for a hands to the face call.
Matt Bosher waiting back at his 40. Darren Sproles back deep for New Orleans. Bosher punting for the 2nd time. Sproles lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Saints defense, last in the league a season ago. Good job today. Episode of The Ultimate Fighter. The tension between rival coaches Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate boils over when their #1 picks square off in one of the most shocking battles in Ultimate Fighter history. Don't miss an all-new episode of The Ultimate Fighter this Wednesday only on Fox Sports 1.
He's done a great job so far. I tell you, he's got his guys playing hard. They're excited. I said this earlier, I really think that this defense has more confidence today than they had at any point last season.
Easy. Brady. Here we go. 9-5-2. 5-6. Ready. You ready, my son?
Saints offense back to work as Brees hands it off to Pierre Thomas. Thomas gains 4 out to the 24-yard line.
You know, down on the field here, Dal, watching Drew Brees go and make all these checks. I don't know if I could ever play offense. I'll tell you. It's amazing all the different calls and how he's just directing traffic down here, and these guys are just picking it up.
Yeah, and he's staying in balance. I think last year sometimes when he was checking from run to pass. You can see that 13 run or the 13-12 breakdown right there.
Brees on 2nd and 6, complete to Kenny Stills. Stills is inside the 20 and finally dragged down by Alford at the 9-yard line. The rookie 5th-round pick out of Oklahoma takes it 67 yards.
Well, now we know why Drew Brees was excited about the 2 young guys coming off the slot. Great release right there, gets vertical down the seam ahead of Robert McClain. Now watch here at the end of the run. He's going to feel pressure coming from behind. Tuck the ball away. Nice job, Kenny Stills. Good fundamentals.
First and goal from the 9-yard line. Taken down to the 7 by Mark Ingram.
Very impressed by the entire New Orleans Saints team right now. You have all this emotion at the start of the game. You think that Atlanta would be the team that would struggle in this environment, and they jump out to a 10-0 lead. No panic whatsoever from the Saints on the sideline. They battled their way back to 10-10, put themselves in a great position to take the lead right here.
Sproles in the slot. 2nd and goal from the 7. Brees hands it off. There is a flag as Thomas is tackled by Jonathan Babineau. There has only been 1 penalty called to this point.
Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 2nd down.
Right guard Jari Evans.
It'll be on your left side of the screen. Jonathan Babineau beats him inside quick. He's got no option but to pull him down.
Only the 2nd penalty of the game. The first was the late hit on Matt Ryan by Kenny Vaccaro. Good to see referee Gene Steratore back on the field. Did not work during the preseason. Underwent Achilles tendon surgery back in May. Saints force back following the penalty. 2nd and goal from the 17-yard line. As they set up the screen, there's another flag. Here is Sproles, and he is pushed down at the 9 by Weatherspoon. But there's a penalty marker back at the 21-yard line.
Holding, offense, number 73, 10-yard penalty, replay 2nd down.
That's Evans again. He's gone to the last 4 Pro Bowls, has committed consecutive penalties on this drive.
I was going to say, one of the best guards in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Wearing Hall of Famer Larry Allen's number.
There he is right here. Let's take a look. Jonathan Babineau. I don't know about that one.
Well, see, yeah, exactly, Tony. That's a guy releasing on the screen, and he kind of throws the guy, and all of a sudden, and what do we say? If you go to the ground, you got a good chance of getting a penalty. Yeah, I didn't agree with that one either.
So now, 2nd and goal from the 27-yard line.
53, heat, ready, 90,
Brees moves to his right, throws, complete to Sproles, stays on his feet, and gains 7.
Shaking up on that play, man. These guys are coming up in the secondary hitting for Atlanta.
I tell you, you talk about his athletic ability, but he's a tough little guy too.
Yeah, Sean Weatherspoon comes up and knocks his own guy off the tackle. Then all of a sudden, here comes William Moore.
Brees over for a chat with Peyton as the clock winds down to the 2-minute warning. Here in New Orleans, Falcons led 10-0 after 1. Saints have come back, tied the game at 10. Saints tied at 10. 2 minutes remaining, first half. 3rd and goal for the Saints from the 20-yard line. Brees looking to his right, then throws left. And Sproles is taken down at the 13-yard line by McClain.
We've been talking about the versatility of Kroy Bierman. Watch him here. Watch what he has to do. He's going to cross the formation and give Jimmy Graham a little bump. That's one of your big red zone threats. So run over there, disrupt him. The amount of things that they have asked this guy to do in this defense
everywhere
in the first half. Now, you don't want to turn him loose down towards the goal line.
And what's amazing is, you know, Drew Brees was looking right at him when he got bumped. I think he was going to go to him if he wasn't there.
Yeah, maybe taking his eyes off him because everybody released him. Akeem Dent was late getting there.
Following an Atlanta timeout, Saints send out the field goal unit. Hartley hit from 48 yards out earlier. This will be a 31-yard attempt. Luke McCown places it down. And Hartley's kick is straight through. So the Saints have their first lead of the game after falling behind 10-0. Tony Gonzalez with the Falcons touchdown. Atlanta led 10-0 after 1. Saints have scored 13 unanswered points. Here in the second quarter, the Colston touchdown and 2 Hartley field goals. Rodgers back deep for Atlanta. So the Falcons will start from their own 20-yard line with 2 timeouts and 1:47 remaining in the half.
Look at the guys today. Running stride for stride almost. Nice job by Matt Ryan and Drew Brees. It is a quarterback-driven league, and we've got 2 of the better ones with us this afternoon. Matt Ryan really kind of climbing up that ladder around the league, getting a lot of respect, a lot of admiration from his peers.
from the 20 on first down. Bryant's pass is caught by Harry Douglas. And Douglas able to gain 12. His third reception moves the chains. A minute 25 remaining from the 32. Bryant over the middle. This time it's Julio Jones, who stays on his feet, and then is brought down by Raphael Bush in Saints territory. Jones picks up 22.
A good job by the Falcons offense. The first play, they rushed 3 and drop 8 into coverage, able to get a completion there. That time, Rob Ryan brings some extra pressure, and they're able to execute under that environment as well.
Under 1 minute remaining. Falcons still have 2 timeouts from the Saints 47. Ryan to the outside, who was looking for Gonzalez, Harper, and Greer on the coverage.
And Jabari Greer did a nice job. He dropped Roddy White, had good vision back to Matt Ryan, saw the play coming, and dropped his receiver and almost was able to make a play on that ball to Tony Gonzalez.
Now 51 seconds on the clock. 2nd and 10 for the Falcons from the Saints 47. Bryant under pressure. Down he goes. Back at the 42-yard line, hit initially by Tyrone Walker, and then Junior Gillette came in to help out, and Walker is shaken up.
Tony Gonzalez on the outside, one-on-one. I mean, that's a tough job for Tony Gonzalez to go and take on a defensive end like that on the outside.
And let me tell you what, Tony, we all know about Tony Gonzalez in the kind of the arrangement they had and not being at OTAs and not being at training camp. And that's great for running your routes and catching the football. But if you're going to ask him to block a pass rusher like Junior Gillette one-on-one, then you're going to have to live with some of these growing pains. He's going to have to knock some of that rust off because he probably hasn't had a lot of opportunity.
That's really the only time you get to go live one-on-one is in training camp. You know, offensive linemen go against defensive linemen and you know, work on your pass rush and pass blocking skills, and that's something that he missed with missing those first 3 weeks of camp.
Halftime report. Adrian Peterson off to a great start. All the first half scores, highlights, and analysis. Following the first sack of the game on either side. 3rd down and 20 for the Falcons. Split backs, Snelling and Rogers. Bryant again under pressure, forced to throw it away. This time it was Cameron Jordan. And now Gene Steratore drops the flag for intentional grounding.
Matt Ryan had to be still inside the pocket on that one. If he's outside the pocket, there is no intentional grounding on that, getting it beyond the line of scrimmage. So he was still in the tackle box when he threw it away. So look at your tackles right there. So you're kind of right on your hash marks running down. Is Matt Ryan still inside those hashes when he lets this go?
Yeah, he is.
And is this just a breakdown in communication between quarterback, wide receiver, and a missed assignment by Roddy White on the outside?
Well, that ball was about 10 yards outside of the sideline there, Darryl.
There's Tyrone Walker. Remember, the Saints already lost a defensive lineman, Broderick Bunkley, earlier to a lower right leg injury. His return is questionable, and now Walker heading to the locker room. Now Steratore explaining to Mike Smith.
Would take a 10-second runoff from that situation.
But they have the option.
Can we add 5? We don't want to take 10, but can we add 5?
So Bosher waiting back at his 20-yard line.
I got there quick. This could be trouble.
Yep, taken by Sproles. There is a flag as Sproles is tackled at the 36-yard line.
My old special teams coach Joe Avezano used to call those boomerang punts when there was no hang time on them. They usually come right back at you.
During the kick, holding, number 54 of the receiving team. Penalty is 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, New Orleans.
That's on Will Herring, the special teams captain. So Sean Payton checking his play chart. Saints with 30 seconds and 2 timeouts. They will start from the 16-yard line with a 3-point lead.
I think originally the Saints might have thought about being aggressive, but in this field position with this time left, a conservative approach. Get in at halftime. If your special teams would have given you better position with that punt return, maybe you can be aggressive with your play calling, but not in this situation.
Another handoff to Sproles, and that should do it for the first half here in New Orleans. Falcons scored 10 in the first quarter. Saints come back with 13 points in the second. So New Orleans with a 3-point lead at the half. Time now for the Visa halftime report to New York and Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Welcome to the Visa halftime report. What's your football fantasy?
Live from Times Square is the Visa halftime report. Kurt Menefee along with Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. And while the Saints hold a slim lead in your game, we're going to check out the rest of Week 1 so far, including the Bucs at the Jets.
Darrelle Revis. There you were looking at actually Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez, quarterbacks talking it over. Darrelle Revis facing his former team is Freeman down the left sideline. Williams comes back to the inside once he clears the corner. 17-yard touchdown, 7-2. Tampa Bay on the road at New York. And then Geno Smith, after his fumble, Doug Martin 5-yard touchdown run. 14-5 Tampa Bay on top of the Jets with a $139 remaining, 139 remaining in the first half. Vikings at the Lions. Out of the eye, off left tackle, back inside, bouncing to the outside, turning on that speed, that incredible speed. Kurt Menefee speed.
There you go.
Beautiful job, 78-yard touchdown run. Christian Ponder, 2 interceptions in the first half. No matter though, 14-6. Vikings on top of the Lions, 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Seattle traveling across the country to face this guy, Cam Newton. Dangerous spread guy, out of the eye, open up, play action at the goal line, crossing route. Steve Smith, 3-yard touchdown, 7-3. Carolina on top of Seattle. And then Frank Alexander, shoving match with Breno
Giacomino. Breno Giacomino.
There, thank you so much.
There you go. Alexander threw that punch, got
ejected. Is he out of the game now?
Alexander's out of the game.
Not the other guy?
Carolina has a lead 7-3.
If I throw it at you, TB, they're going to eject me off the set.
How about Cincinnati and Chicago?
Oh, it's early, man.
Getting off that easy.
3 plays later, Andy Dalton. There it is. Pump fake down the sideline. A.J. Green, second touchdown catch on the day. A takeoff route, fly route. 14-7. Now it's 14-10. Bengals up by 4 over the Bears. Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Rookie quarterback E.J. Manuel, the first quarterback, only quarterback taken in the first round out of Florida State, watches Brady as he hits Edelman on a 9-yard touchdown pass, 17-7. New England on top of Buffalo.
And by the way, Danny Amendola left that game with an injury. We'll update you later on this afternoon. Tennessee.
Sorry, Kurt.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, we're both rusty. Oh, I know I'm rusty. Opening kickoff, Darius Raynaud tries to get the ball. The ball is rolling. He had 1 foot outside. He put a knee down. That's the safety, 2-0 Pittsburgh. Then battle, 3-yard touchdown run, good football game. Tennessee Titans much improved what I saw in preseason on top of Pittsburgh, 7-2. Raiders at the Colts, Andrew Luck. First player picked in last year's draft. Phenomenal rookie season, finding Reggie Wayne as the fade route led him to the outside, touchdown from 12 yards, 7-0. And then Luck to Dwayne Allen, 20-yard touchdown pass as the fire engines are blowing their horns behind me. 14-7, Colts on top of the visiting Raiders at the half. Kansas City Chiefs, Alex Smith, first game starting as a Chief, coming over from the 49ers, finding Hemingway. 3-yard touchdown, first time in Alex Smith's career that he had 2 touchdown passes. in the first quarter. He does in this one, 21-2. All Chiefs on top of the visiting Jaguars.
And also Cleveland leading Miami 7-6 that game at halftime right now.
Say at the Jaguars. Sorry about that.
There you go. Hey, no problem right now. As you said, everybody's a little bit rusty right now. You know what? How
Touchdown, Marques Colston. Kickoff weekend here in New Orleans with the Saints leading 13-10, the first half numbers.
Well, it kind of mimics the score. You can see how even this is, and we should understand this. In recent history, this game has come down to the last possession, so living up to the history of this rivalry.
Well, you can follow your favorite team all season long. Go to iTunes.com/NFL. Saints will get the ball first as we start the second half. Saints have won 8 of the last 9 over the Falcons here in New Orleans. Brees, 11-15 of the first half. Touchdown pass. Marques Colston, as you saw a moment ago. Bosher kicking off. And Sproles does not have an opportunity to take it out. Well, the Falcons led 10-0. Saints scored 13 points in the second quarter, but that first half, Darryl, probably lower scoring than both of us expected.
Yeah, let's give credit to both of these defenses. The New Orleans Saints, the worst defense in the history of the NFL last season. New defensive coordinator Rob Bryant has them playing well in week 1. And then for the Atlanta Falcons, very, very young and inexperienced on the corners. Asante Samuel inactive today. That kind of has an impact throughout that secondary. Very impressed with how they played against one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL and a skill set that really creates matchup problems.
Well, good job by both defensive units. As the Saints start from their own 20-yard line. Brees looked to throw on first down, and the pass could not be handled by Kenny Stills. What's going on downstairs, Goose?
What's going on, Kenny? Got a chance to talk to Sean Payton going in. One thing, when I asked him the question, I said, you know, you guys came out a little bit slow. He said, listen, our pace in the first quarter was not good at all. That's not how we want to come out. We want more like the second quarter. We got to pick up our pace and make decisions quicker, not give the defense enough time to go and make adjustments to what we're doing. So look for that here in the second half.
All right, thanks, Tony. Falcons have both rookies, Trufant and Alford, on the field, along with the nickelback McClain. On second down, stumbling forward, the 22-yard line is Mark Ingram.
And maybe one of the reasons for maybe not the pace that Coach Payton wanted in that first quarter, you know, you've got Kenny Stills, you've got Nick Toon as your 3rd and 4th wide receiver. This is their first NFL game. This is a lot of volume to take in, and Drew Brees is going to want to move at that quick pace. It's a lot for these guys. They played, you know, they got extra playing time during the course of preseason, but you know, it's going to be difficult for them to keep pace the way Drew Brees and Sean Payton like this offense to move.
Third down and 8. Brees wrapped up by Corey Peters. Down he goes.
There's that pressure again by that defensive line. Peters does a nice job here. He's right here in the middle. Does a nice job of going, identifying. Slides to the outside. A lot of games going on inside, but they're really delayed games for that offensive line where you get to go and pick guys off. He does a nice job of sliding to the outside where you can go and get the pressure.
Saints go 3 and out for the first time today. Good kick by Morstead. This is Harry Douglas on the return for the Falcons. And he brings it out to the 41-yard line. 71-yard punt. Well, Wednesday on an all-new episode of The Ultimate Fighter, the tension between rival coaches Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate boils over when their #1 picks square off in one of the most shocking battles in Ultimate Fighter history. Don't miss an all-new episode of The Ultimate Fighter this Wednesday only on Fox Sports 1. That punt, a career loss for Morstead, 71 yards.
Very timely when you're backed up, too.
Nice return by Douglas, so good starting field position for Matt Ryan and the Falcons from their own 41-yard line. Ryan gets rid of it quickly to Julio Jones. He breaks a tackle and then stumbles out to the 45-yard line for a gain of 4.
You got to be a little bit more sure on that tackle when you've got Julio Jones on the outside, one-on-one. Get up a little bit higher. Take his legs out from him. Don't get down around those ankles.
You know, Darren, we talked about the pace of both of these teams. I think the hardest game to play is the first game of the season, like these guys are doing right now. It's you don't know the opponent, you don't know what's going on, and you got to sit and wait and see.
Steven Jackson found a huge hole. He's still on his feet and is finally tackled inside the 10-yard line down at the 6. Jackson takes it 50 yards.
This is just, watch him turn around one of the defenders in the secondary on this run. And for anybody that thinks that maybe Steven Jackson doesn't have a lot of tread left on the tires, here's some proof that he's got plenty. I mean, there's not a lot of people gaining ground on Steven Jackson as he's pulling away. He's not just a physical runner. You can see that speed that he has.
Big time. You can see the eyes of the defensive backs also when he went in that backfield.
First and goal from the 5, following a 50-yard run by Jackson. Bryant looking end zone. He throws, and he was looking for Harry Douglas. Patrick Robinson and Malcolm Jenkins on the coverage.
This is good coverage by the New Orleans Saints because these are crossing routes that are extended. Here's Julio Jones. He's going to come from the right and move left. Harry Douglas is going to come from the left and move right. Now you're trying to rub each other off there through that man coverage. Good job by Patrick Robinson avoiding all that traffic in the middle of the field and staying with Harry Douglas.
Bryant on second and goal, hands it off to Jackson. And Jackson fought his way forward to the 4-yard line before he was forced back. Jackson exits, replaced by Jaquiz Rogers. Now third and goal. Douglas in the slot. Gonzalez shifting from the 4-yard line. Ryan throws, end zone, touchdown, Julio Jones.
You see everybody getting together right there. A breakdown in coverage at some point. You've got the 3 big guys to one side, Harry Douglas, Tony Gonzalez, Julio Jones. You got to double Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah, Roman White. You saw Roman Harper go and take that double team out. Left Julio Jones wide open right on the next level.
Can't double team everybody. Jones, 10 touchdowns a season ago. Second touchdown pass for Ryan today. Ryan, the extra point. Atlanta Falcons back on top by 4.
A thank you that actually thanks you. Rapid.
It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By State Farm, it pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV.
Falcons back on top here in New Orleans. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Look at Julio Jones, who reached the end zone. Culmination of a 5-play, 59-yard drive. Key play, of course, the 50-yard run by Steven Jackson. Saints will start from their own 20 when we return.
Play Kenny Vaccaro, the guy whose circle gets put between a rock and a hard place. Now down below you got a double on Roddy White. Kenny Vaccaro is going to jump in. He's going to double Tony Gonzalez, 88. When he drops down, here comes Julio Jones right in behind him into that open space. Nice design, nice execution.
So the Falcons back on top, lead by 4. Saints go to work from the 20-yard line as Brees fires. Catch is made out of the 25 by Colston. prior catch went for a touchdown.
Tell you what, Darryl, I'm pretty impressed by Trufant so far in this game. I mean, he's had some good coverage up there on some tackles. For a young guy, he's really impressed me.
Both the guys we wanted to keep an eye on, Tony. Desmond Trufant, and then Lamar Holmes has done a nice job at right tackle as well. You've talked about Robert Alford coming in, playing well.
Yep. Good pedigree for Trufant, third brother to play in the NFL. Second down and 5. Wide open is Watson. Well, Ben Watson picks up a first down out to the 38-yard line, a gain of 13.
There's an example, too, of a young guy, and you asked Mike Smith about this, Tony. Is Desmond Trufant a good tackler? Now, this is Ben Watson. He's a big tight end, and he's going to come up and he's going to make the tackle. And it's one of the big challenges when you've got younger guys coming in. A lot of guys look at you as speed and long arms and great cover guys, but you also have to be able to tackle in the open field.
Yeah, usually you see those young guys just throwing a shoulder.
Pierre Thomas. Tripped up by Roy Bierman. Thomas gains 4.
Roy Bierman with a nice little shoestring tackle right there. Just dives in. If he doesn't get him on that play, I'll tell you what, he might still be running. That cutback was there big time. Watch Thomas right here. Look to the outside. There's nobody there. Croy does a great job of coming down the line of scrimmage, not getting too deep into the backfield where he has a bad angle on him. That's a great play right there.
Second down and 6. Brees over the middle. He was looking for Graham, and it was Bierman on the coverage.
I tell you what, they ask him to do a lot of difficult things. This is the second time we've seen him in coverage down the field with Jimmy Graham.
Nice job of coverage too, Dow, getting his head around. Tell you what, those yellow contact lenses that he has in have really been helping him a lot.
Yes, that's the secret, Goose.
I thought it was for fashion. It's not. Gotta get you a pair, Kenny.
Bring him on. Third down and 6. Saints must get to the 48. As Brees lofts one up, and the catch is made. A spectacular catch for a first down made by Darren Sproles.
That's great concentration right at the point of the catch. Darren Sproles off the line of it. This is a wheel route out to the flat and go. He's got William Moore as the safety. That could have been a big play if Drew Brees gets it out in front.
Nice job of Darren Sproles knowing where he is, getting both of those feet in.
So the Saints now in Falcons territory from the Atlanta 36. Pump fake. Now Brees throws. It was intended for Lance Moore. And it was William Moore who was able to break it up. Yeah, there is a flag back at the 42-yard line as well.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
That's Charles Brown, the left tackle.
The last time these two teams played, Drew Brees had 5 interceptions.
And William Moore had 2 of the 5.
Yes, and exactly like that, exactly on that same play, you saw Drew pump. But Tony mentioned this, you know each other so well when you're in the division. And I think that William Moore and Thomas Deku in that back end, they understand when it's just a token pump and not to move. And 2 interceptions the last time they played. Should have had another one on that last play.
Those 5 picks last November against the Falcons, a career high for Drew Brees. His 54-game touchdown streak, NFL record, came to an end in that game as well. First down and 20 from the 46 as the Saints set up the screen. And Thomas does a nice job eluding a couple of attackers and takes it down to the 37-yard line for a gain of 9.
And I've always felt the Saints one of the better screen teams in the NFL, and it's not an easy play. A lot of people think that it's something that would be easy for an offense to execute, but the timing involved with all the different moving parts, and New Orleans does it as well as anybody in the NFL.
Second down and 11. The play is blown dead. Falcons called a timeout prior to the snap.
Timeout. Atlanta.
We will return to the Superdome. Falcons by 4. Falcons lead by 4. Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa on kickoff weekend from the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans. From the 38-yard line. Second down and 12. Saints with an empty backfield. Brees on second down, fires, and the catch is made by Kenny Stills for a New Orleans first down at the Falcons' 19-yard line, a 19-yard pass play.
Boy, and he had Jimmy Graham in the flat, wide open. They had dropped him in coverage, so a lot of confidence in Drew Brees that was going to open up back behind Jimmy Graham with enough yards for the first down.
So a new set of downs for the Saints. 3 wide receivers set. Colston in the slot. Here's Sproles. And Sproles gains 6 down to the 13-yard line. Never be without football. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to download it now. Saints on the move following the Julio Jones touchdown. Second down and 4 from the Atlanta 14. Split backs. Brees looking on second down. Throws to the outside, and it's Jimmy Graham who picks up another Saints first down.
Drew Brees has all day back there in the backfield, not getting any pressure at all. His offensive line doing a great job of giving him time to find his receivers downfield. And that's the difference in the game right now.
How about that? 403 completions in his career against the Falcons. Joe Montana's son, Nick, completed 29 passes here in the Dome yesterday for Tulane in a loss to South Alabama.
Were you here watching?
I was with you.
You were late getting to the meeting. You might have been somewhere else.
It was in one of the 12 papers that Kenny read today.
He's got one up here. I swear to God, he just had his nose in a newspaper 30 seconds ago.
Wanted to know where to look to find the info, right, Goose?
Absolutely, Kenny. The more you could do.
6.5 remaining, third quarter, with the Falcons leading by 4 in this NFC South matchup. Last year's division champs. Falcons 13-3, Saints finishing at 7-9. First and goal for New Orleans from the 7. Pass is caught by Graham, and he reaches for the end zone touchdown.
Tough matchup in the red zone when you got Jimmy Graham as your tight end, but this is just a simple flat route to the outside. Really nice job working that sideline, getting that in for the touchdown. Now, Croy Bierman seems to be, his assignment is to affect Jimmy Graham's release when they're in the red zone. He did a great job, really kind of slowed him down at the beginning, but coverage was so late getting over there to pick him up in the flat.
Hartley adds the extra point. Our third lead change. Drew Brees and the Saints back on top.
I mean, watch Croy Bierman. He comes across. You're going to jam him, hold him right there. Now release him. Thomas Deku, eyes inside the backfield. He's late getting to Jimmy Graham in the flat.
Gonzalez for the Falcons, and now Jimmy Graham.
Very talented. It's that new style tight end coming into the league. Just matchup nightmares. It's Tony Gonzalez. We talked about it, the best to ever play the position in the NFL, and he's still that complete guy, still a great blocker, does everything, and he's actually talked to Jimmy Graham about that. Hey, if you really want to be effective, you've got to be able to become a good edge blocker so the defense doesn't know all the time that you're really just that pass-catching guy. Some great advice from the best that's ever played the position. Now Tony's just straight. Now,
nice form right there. Nice
doesn't
form.
Jimmy Graham do a 360? Gets you the 360. So he's showing up as the big cheese.
He's got youth on his side.
Gonzalez played hoops at Cal. Graham at the University of Miami. Falcons go back to work, trailing by 3. This is Steven Jackson, who had a 50-yard run on the Falcons' last possession, which led to the Julio Jones touchdown. There's David Hawthorne, who wrapped him up and brought him down after a gain of just 1.
Well, Tony talked about Steven Jackson and the impact that he was going to make on this team. When you already have such a great skill set, now you got this monster coming out of the backfield, not just in the run game, but the pass game. There's been some plays today that didn't exist from the running back position in Atlanta's offense last year because of the addition of Steven Jackson.
Bryant on 2nd and 9, sacked for the second time today. Paris Carrollson, the longtime 49er, acquired just a week and a half ago by the Saints.
Well, we're getting to that point in the game where fatigue could become a factor. Here's Lamar Holmes, the guy we were going to keep an eye on getting his first start in the NFL today. How's he hanging in there? Is he tired? You can see that strength. He's getting pushed back into the pocket. That's going to be the challenge for all these young guys in the starting lineup. They've never been extended this far in the preseason. Can they handle the physical fatigue?
Bryant on 3rd and 16 throws it into a crowd. Saints fans on their feet. And they force the Falcons to punt it away.
Tough to run a screen against this team, as many screens as they run on offense. No one does it better. And that defense was all over it. You see the shot right there on Matt. Did a good job of getting rid of the ball in an area where he didn't get called for intentional grounding like he did earlier today.
Bosher setting up just inside the goal line. Now steps out. Sproles takes it at the 42. There is a flag. Sproles across midfield. Drew Davis, the special teams tackle.
During the kick, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 33, 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down, New Orleans.
That's number 33, Jabari Greer. Time for a game break to Los Angeles and Joel Klatt. Joel?
So many quality young quarterbacks in this league. Add E.J. Manuel to the list. As a rook, 2 TD passes. This one to Stevie Johnson, 18 yards, 21-17 Bills, but New England threatening inside the 5-yard line.
All right, thanks, Joel. Here in New Orleans, back and forth, 3 lead changes. Saints took the lead moments ago on the Drew Brees touchdown pass to Jimmy Graham. And now New Orleans will start from their own 33-yard line following the penalty on the return.
Mike 5-6, ready. You ready? What's that?
Brees looking to throw on first down, and it is Colston who is the intended receiver, and then it's stripped away by the rookie Alford.
What a nice play, running stride for stride. Now here's a guy who's not expecting to play as much until Asante Samuel goes down. He's at the top of your screen coming in from the left. Great job. As soon as Marques Colston makes the break, he gets his eyes back in the backfield to find Drew Brees and track that throw. How many times have we seen Marques Colston go up and take the ball away?
Is reporting eligible on the play.
So Alford, the second-round pick out of southeastern Louisiana, grew up in Hammond, Louisiana. He was a huge Saints fan. He said all of his family members threw out their Saints paraphernalia right after the draft, and they are all Falcons fans now. He comes up with a pick in his first NFL game. And he does it back home. So now the Falcons from the 45 off the play fake. Ryan sacked again. This time it is Akeem Hicks.
Akeem Hicks, nice job. Watch Holmes right here. He just gets bull rushed, thrown out of the way. There's no way that you could go and play Akeem Hicks like that. You got to sit down, sit your butt down, and bow up in front of him. He cannot throw you around like that. But now he's just going to have confidence. He's going to come right back at you once again.
Third sack for the Saints defense. Now Ryan under pressure again on 2nd and 18. And he throws it away. Looked like he was out of the tackle box this time.
Well, here's what you have to do as the Atlanta Falcons. You've got to start giving Lamar Holmes some help. Now he's got Cameron Jordan coming to that side, and you can see exactly what Tony said. He's getting tired. He's never played this long before in an NFL environment. Opening week, all the emotional thing. You're going to be physically drained, mentally drained. He's done a good job for you this afternoon, battling one-on-one. Now it's time to give him some tight end help, some chips by the running backs coming that way.
Third down and 18. As Ryan throws short to Snelling. Harper and Greer able to bring him down, so the Falcons will punt it away, unable to capitalize on the Alford interception.
Well, credit that defense. We've talked about the Saints and playing a much better complementary style of football today. Your offense makes a mistake. That's the second time this defense has bailed them out. Held them to a field goal when they missed it on 4th down, and that time force a punt after a turnover.
Good that chance from the Saints crowd here in the Dome as Bosher angles it towards the sideline, and it is down inside the 5. Antone Smith getting downfield, so the Falcons pinning the Saints deep. Well, the television event of the season is finally here. Monday, September 16th, a legend is reborn from the writers and producers of Star Trek. Don't miss the epic series premiere of Sleepy Hollow. This town is anything but sleepy. Monday, September 16th at 9, 8 Central, right here on Fox. So Drew Brees and the Saints will start from their own 3-yard line. Back together with Sean Payton following the unprecedented 1-year suspension as a result of Bounty Gate. And the pass is caught by Colston down to the 8-yard line. 4 players were suspended. General Manager Mickey Loomis suspended for 8 games. Defensive assistant Joe Vinton for 6 games. So Aaron Kromer coached the club in the first 6. Then it was Vint. Greg Williams, former defensive coordinator, suspended indefinitely. He has been reinstated, now a member of the Titans staff. And when Payton and Brees sat down this April 15th, it was really the first time they were together in 16 months.
Yeah, he said all the way back to January of 12, right after that loss to the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional playoff game.
Second down at 5. This is Thomas, and when Payton addressed the team for the first time in mid-April, every player, even Drew Brees, wore tape on their helmet as a name tag. Sean said, I didn't know half the players in the room. The entire rookie class from last season, the draft class, and the rookie free agents this year, he had never met half the players.
Yeah, it's a difficult transition, and he's coming in, and he said everything was up for evaluation too. Coaches, players, they looked at everything. They have changed so many different things. The hotel they stay at, the way they take the field game day.
Ready? You ready? Third down and 1. The toss to Pierre Thomas, and Thomas has a first down. Out to the 23-yard line, finally tackled by Akeem Dent. Well, Sean Payton and Drew Brees came together here in New Orleans in 2006, and a look at Brees' numbers with Payton at the helm from 06 to 2011 prior to the suspension.
Unbelievable. I mean, those are just absolutely unbelievable numbers. So far ahead of every quarterback that's played this game during the course of that stretch. And that's why when we were here last year, week 1, and they were trying to convince themselves as much as us that everything was going to be okay, you just can't account for Sean Payton's presence not being on the sideline. And we've seen the impact today in a lot of intangible ways as well.
Saints started last season 0-4, finished 7-9. Here's Thomas down to the 27-yard line. Half minute remaining, third quarter. Falcons led 10-0 after one. It was 13-10 Saints at the half. Teams exchanging touchdowns here in the third quarter.
I think the best thing that Drew Brees said about Sean not being there was the fact that he's such a great teacher and a great communicator. And when he tells his stories to make his points, it seems to resonate with every individual player on the team, and they get meaning from what he's saying. And they missed that tremendously last season.
Second down and 6. Complete to Jimmy Graham for a Saints first down as the third quarter comes to an end here in New Orleans with the Saints on the move. They lead by 3. The NFL on Fox will continue after these messages and a word from your local station. Joins possession at their own 3-yard line. Now at the 37 on first down. Brees pulls it in and then takes off, slides out to the 42-yard line. Gain of 4.
Little things become big things. Croy Bierman on this play right here. Watch him just give a little check to Darren Sproles as he releases. That's who Drew Brees wanted. Just that little thing right there gets him off that read. Talked to Mike Nolan and all the different roles that he plays, and he said, yeah, we ask him to do a lot of different things, and we've seen that through the course of the game. Pretty versatile, athletic guy in that defensive front for the Atlanta Falcons.
You mentioned his name throughout the game today. Now Brees on 2nd and 6. Throws, and it's Colston who makes the catch at Falcons territory for a first down. Knocked down by Deku after a gain of 14.
Coming all the way across the field on that little bootleg, getting into that middle tier.
That's what happens when that run is successful to that left side. All of a sudden they run a little fake play action to that left side, and he boots back, and everybody bites on it because they feel like they got to help everybody else stop the run. That's when it gets bad.
From the Falcons 45, Ingram.
Now, you asked this earlier, Tony, about when you do running back by committee, does it impact the guy who's trying to get into a rhythm? I think if it does impact anybody, I think it could be Mark Ingram. He seems to be the one guy that wants to get in there and get 8, 10, 12 snaps, you know, during the course, stay in for an entire series, not back and forth.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, because the timing is off with him on his cutbacks. He's going to the outside, but he doesn't really know when those linemen are going to go and step up and base them on somebody so he can have that cutback lane.
Now Thomas returns to the backfield as Brees throws and could not make the connection with Jimmy Graham. Third down and 7 coming up for the Saints, who lead by 3. Now Sproles checks in, replacing Thomas. Third down and 7 from the 42. Brees over the middle. And we will now check in once again for a game break with Joel Klein.
Guys, remember back when New Orleans made Reggie Bush the 2nd pick of the draft in 2006? Didn't work out there, but it's working out in Detroit. 4 years, $16 million. This one, a 77-yard catch and run. Detroit up 27-17.
That has been an element that's been missing from Detroit's offense for a couple of years now, and I thought that was a good pickup in free agency, and it was what contribution he was going to make, and it looks like it's going to pay some huge dividends for the Lions this year.
Reggie Bush, who won a Super Bowl with the Saints, Super Bowl 44. Falcons back on offense, trailing by 3.
Like industrial excavators, its brake rotors are hardened with a heat treating process that can double their life. And like the Hoover Dam, its engine makes power when it's needed and conserves fuel when it isn't, making it the most fuel-efficient V8 in a pickup.
Second half, the big play, the 50-yard run by Jackson. Other than that, not much. And now they start from their own 9-yard line. Worst starting field position of the day for Atlanta as Jackson gets tripped up after gaining 4 yards.
And we've been very complimentary of the Saints defense, but that is the one area that they have to get fixed, because last year the big play really hurt that defense. And today, this afternoon, both of the Atlanta touchdowns have had a 50-yard play leading to that scoring drive.
50-yard catch and run by Douglas. 50-yard run by Jackson. Second down and 6. Again, the noise here in the dome affecting the Falcons as Bryant hits Jackson on the screen. And Jackson picked up a first down out to the 31-yard line. Finally brought down by Jenkins, gain of 17.
And we've seen the last couple drives this defensive front really getting great pressure. Here's one of the best things you can do to kind of slow that front down. Get that screen pass out right away. Lamar Holmes gets out, gets a block. And now, again, he's a big, powerful guy. But, boy, I tell you what, he's got some great feet.
Tell you what, Tony Gonzalez does a nice job picking up 2 blocks downfield.
Off the play fake. Bryant dumps it off. It's Jackson again. Jackson over 100 all-purpose yards in the game today. And Goose alluded to Gonzalez helping him out. So you have the leading active receiver and the leading active rusher on the same team. 115 total yards for Jackson today, 77 on the ground. Second down and 8. Bryant's pass off the hands of Julio Jones on the slant.
Tried to set up a double screen, set linemen out on both sides, sort of as a fake one way, let's go the other way. But this defense did not buy it.
Third down and 8. And Ryan's pass is caught by Harry Douglas. It's ruled a catch. There is a flag, however, back at the 22-yard line. Looks like Ryan may have taken another late hit.
No, he's taking a hold.
Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Third down.
And Ryan was hunched over. And the guilty Falcon is the left tackle, Sam Baker.
Here's the end of the play with the catch. Sure looks like Harry Douglas has got that clean. So now this becomes a big issue. Junior Galette, I mean, if you talk about leverage, football is such a leverage sport. Whoever has the best leverage usually wins. You have got to see Junior Galette in his stance. Sam Baker, it's got to be such a struggle for him because he gets so low. He's just underneath the strength and the leverage of Sam Baker.
Ryan on 3rd and 18, steps up, and now dumps it off to Snelling. And Snelling is tackled at the 30-yard line by John Jenkins. So the Falcons send out the punting unit once again. Look at the new Saints defensive coordinator. Rob Ryan spent the last 2 years in Dallas. Under 10 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Saints lead by 3. as they will get the ball back. Here's Sproles from the 23. 5-yard return out to the 28-yard line. Drew Brees and the Saints offense when we return. Following a 55-yard drive. Brees is 21 of 30, 284 yards. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. From the 28-yard line on first down, Brees with loads of time, and the catch is made for a first down by Watson. Takes it out to the 43, a 15-yard pass play.
And this is just something you can't teach. This is veteran experience. Drew Brees is in the pocket. Watch at the top. You're going to have an Atlanta defender run by the pocket. Jonathan Babineau, he's going to be right there. And you talk about a game of inches or split seconds. He gets that ball out just in the nick of time.
There you go. Your fullback Collins tying him up as long as he needed to right there.
Fullbacks taking on defensive tackles. Unbelievable. Regular day at the office.
Benjamin Watson with 3 receptions today. The former first-round draft pick of the Patriots has been a nice addition. Now Ingram breaks away from Babineau, but then Bierman gets in there, Dent, and McClain as well.
Jonathan Babineau has just wreaked havoc today. He's not making the tackles, but he is absolutely disrupting everything. He had a couple of holding penalties by Jari Evans on him during one stretch.
He's in the backfield every play. That's what kills an offense, is penetration.
Loss of 3 on the play. Now second down and 13. Lance Moore in motion. 3 wide receivers set. Sproles in the backfield. Brees lobs it up there for Sproles. And Sproles picks up a first down and more. William Moore finally catches up to him. 33-yard pass play.
Well, they had an opportunity for a big play on this earlier, and it was actually underthrown by Drew Brees. This is a much better throw on this one. Watch Graham, a little slant route, but is he running the slant? Now we're just going to impact Sean Weatherspoon a little bit. Make him run that bubble. That generates the separation that Darren Sproles needs.
Sproles now with 6 receptions for 89 yards. New set of downs for the Saints. Sproles stays on his feet and then is tackled at the 26-yard line as he picks up 1. Sproles 2 seasons ago led the league in all-purpose yards. Missed 3 games last season. Off to a terrific start today.
Yeah, and you can see right there how difficult he is in the passing game. Creates matchup problems for every defense in the NFL.
To build strength and durability into the bed of the all-new Sierra, GMC engineers demanded rolled formed steel. For the same
back inside the dome, side of Super Bowl 47. 217 days ago, Ravens over the 49ers. Saints leading this game by 3 as Brees goes down back at the 31-yard line. OCU Manura along with Pere Jerry. Second sack for the Falcons.
And how about he says that he knows the defense a little bit better this year, knows what everybody's doing his first year with Mike Nolan, and he says it's helped him out tremendously. He understands what's happening behind him from a coverage standpoint. So I'm excited to see what kind of year OCU Manura has.
So far, it looks pretty good, Darryl.
Yeah, you know, hey, he's a threat coming off the edge.
Absolutely.
Falcons lost Corey Peters on the previous play. He had their first sack today. Now Brees on 3rd and 14, complete to Colston for a first down. Inside the Falcons' 15-yard line. And William Moore is down.
Marques Colston is such a tough guy. I mean, he knows he's going to get hit. We saw a play earlier when he got hit by Thomas Deku. Just slides into that zone. He gets his hands up in the air. You can see him. He's bracing for the impact. It's invaluable to have a receiver that goes into the middle of the football field and makes the tough catches knowing he's going to get hit hard.
And Drew Brees throwing that ball right in the middle of 4 defenders right on the spot.
Fifth reception for Colston today. Under 5.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Saints lead by 3. This is Ingram. Oh, and he's brought down by Moore, who was shaken up on the last play.
That's a nice hit by Moore, coming right out of the backfield. Great angle to the edge of the play. Look at that. Just exploded right through the line of scrimmage.
Put it on the tackle reel.
Oof. Now, in case you're wondering, we do emphasis on the crown of the helmet, but he was coming from an angle, not from head on.
Yeah, and he didn't line anybody up and didn't use the crown. He just ran through the
exactly.
Right through him.
Second down and 8. Brees sets up the screen. This is Thomas, and another nice tackle, this time made by Sean Weatherspoon.
That looked like it was going to be a nice play. Sean Weatherspoon, what great acceleration to the point. He came from nowhere. I thought Pierre Thomas had some room to work out there.
So now third down and 9, and if the Falcons hold the Saints to a field goal, it will become a 6-point game. But if the Saints can reach the end zone, it becomes a 2-score game. Brees throws, it's Moore, and he is tackled by McClain, shy of a first down.
Big decision here, Darryl.
I don't think there's any decision.
Got to kick it.
He's going for it.
He's going for it, though.
Well, if you kick the field goal, you're up 6. You force him to go for the touchdown to beat you. But this one leaves open the potential for a field goal to tie.
You got to have some faith in your defense. Take this kind of risk right here.
And now Brees takes a timeout.
Now the question was that just an opportunity to see if they could get Atlanta to jump to get the first down? Or we're going to change our we're going to change our mind right now and get our kicker out there.
Yeah, they were trying to get Bierman. Yeah, they almost got him too, man. Collins was over there giving him a little talk after the play, saying we almost got you. Great seeing guys talk down here on the field during the game.
So Sean Payton sends out the field goal unit. Hartley is 2 for 2 today. Is hit from 48 and 31 yards out. This will be a 22-yard attempt. McCown places it down. Hartley now 3 for 3 as the Saints extend their lead to 6. Kickoff weekend here in New Orleans.
Answering.
The Falcons offense will have an opportunity with just over 3 minutes remaining, trailing the Saints by 6.
Just a typical Falcons Saints game. 7 of the last 10 have come down to the final possession to determine the winner of the game, and this one is falling right into that script.
Yep, they've played 2 overtime games the last 3 seasons. Usually goes right down to the wire. Well, we take you back 3 seasons ago. Garrett Hartley misses a 29-yard attempt in overtime. Then in 2011, Falcons get stuffed on 4th and 1 in OT. And last season, an incomplete pass on 4th and goal. Falcons had started the season 8-0, lose for the first time. Falcons with 2 timeouts remaining. They trail by 6. Bryant on first down. Over the middle. What a catch by Jones for a first down, a gain of 17 yards.
Go up and get it, they say, right, Darryl?
I tell you, this kid could be something special this year. Everybody's waiting for the breakout year. That shows you the athleticism that he has. I mean, Jabari Greer, you can't be any closer in coverage.
From the 37 on first down, Ryan fires, and the catch is made by Gonzalez. Takes it to the New Orleans 47, 16 more yards for the Falcons.
And nice job by Steven Jackson on his release out of the backfield through the middle of the line. Just a little chip to slow that pass rush down.
33 yards on their first 2 plays. Now Ryan sets, dumps it off to Jackson, and he takes it down to the 40-yard line for a gain of 7. Ryan 3 for 3 on this drive. From the Saints 40-yard line. Ryan 4 for 4 on the drive. It is Gonzalez again. And he takes it all the way down to the Saints 27-yard line. 13 more yards for Atlanta as we hit the 2-minute warning. Saints lead by 6. Mike on the right, General Manager Thomas Dimitroff on the left. Matt Ryan on this drive. 4 of 4, 53 yards. A minute 58 remaining. Saints lead by 6. From the New Orleans 27, it's Jackson. And he is stuffed by the former Falcon, Curtis Lofton.
Yeah, I think you have to strike a balance here right now. Obviously, you need the touchdown to win the game, but you don't want to give the Saints too much time. Good news for Atlanta. New Orleans only has 1 timeout, maybe an ill-advised timeout on that 4th down to stop the clock. Take the 5 yards and then kick the field goal. Keep that timeout in your pocket.
But the Falcons still do need a touchdown. 2nd and 10. Ryan throws. It's caught by Harry Douglas. And he takes it down to the Saints' 7-yard line.
Threading the needle once again.
You ain't kidding. And Jabari Greer both times in good positions on Julio Jones and on Harry Douglas on that one. Great throws by Matt Ryan on this drive.
Now 5 for 5 on the drive. 1st and goal. Ryan again looking for Douglas. Malcolm Jenkins on the coverage.
You talk about margin for error. Matt Ryan, the first one to Julio Jones, just great athleticism. Jabari Greer does everything right except have his eyes not on the quarterback. And then again, Harry Douglas against Malcolm Jenkins that time.
2nd and goal from the 8.
Keep an eye on Tony Gonzalez in this situation.
Ryan on 2nd down. Complete to Roddy White. And White takes it down to the 3.
I like that play right there because they know how Rob Ryan is defending him. You go trips to one side, single receiver to the other. They're going to double that guy. They doubled Julio Jones alone on the single side, and then you're going to double Tony Gonzalez.
We welcome those of you who have just joined us. Falcons use a timeout. They trail by 6. Saints led by 3 at the half. Matt Ryan finds Julio Jones for a go-ahead touchdown early in the 3rd quarter. Then it was Drew Brees to Jimmy Graham. Saints took a 3-point lead. Saints added a field goal moments ago, but Matt Ryan leading this Falcons drive downfield. They have 1 timeout remaining. 54 seconds on the clock. 2 chances to get into the end zone. It's 3rd and goal. Three wide receivers plus Tony Gonzalez. Low snap. Ryan has it. Looking end zone. He throws. And Steven Jackson was wrapped up by Ramon Humber. It is now 4th down.
Matt Ryan does a nice job handling the low snap. Has to take his eyes off. Gets him up real quick. He wants Steven Jackson. He runs a great route, has his back turned, everything square to the quarterback, just doesn't make the catch.
And now the Falcons use their final timeout. They have been in this situation before.
Last time they were on the field, for real. The NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. You talk about really kind of getting some confidence right there, being able to put that to rest and getting yourself into an exact same situation and coming out on top. Huge for the Atlanta Falcons to cash this one in and win this game.
It is 4th and goal.
And the flip side to that, this New Orleans Saints defense, the worst statistically in history last year. They have played very, very well this afternoon. Can they make the big stop right here?
Here we go. 4th and goal from the 3. Bryant to the end zone, deflected and picked off by Roman Harper.
You really have to credit the defensive line of the New Orleans Saints defense. They lost Broderick Bunkley early. They lost Tyron Walker early. And all game long, they've been able to get pressure up into the face. Kenny Vaccaro, the rookie, a big play on the ball against Tony Gonzalez. Vintage New Orleans Saints Atlanta Falcons football game this afternoon.
Roman Harper with 2 huge plays today. The fumble he picked up, the running back to get their first score, and now this right here. Eyes up, brings the ball in. And like you said, Moose Vaccaro, great play on Tony.
Harper, the senior member of the Saints defense, a much maligned unit a season ago when they allowed the most yards ever during an NFL season. Replaced Steve Spagnuolo with Rob Ryan. And Harper comes up with the huge interception on 4th and goal. Coming up after our game on the Pepsi Game Break. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy scores and highlights from around the league. And they'll get you ready for America's Game of the Week. We will also return to wrap things up from New Orleans. Saints by 6 over the Falcons, and the return of head coach Sean Payton following his 1-year suspension. Falcons started last season 8-0. They lose their opener. We will return to the Superdome after these messages.
All right, apparently we're still here. Hey, welcome to week 1 of the National Football League season. Guys, right now, let's talk about some of these games that have wrapped up for those that are just joining us. Earlier today, Seattle hung on to beat Carolina on the road 12-7, and the Saints stopped the Falcons inside the 5-yard line to win their game 23-17. Jimmy.
And in this game we're watching, you talk about, Tampa Bay and the Jets. And we talked about that Jet problems, but the Jet didn't, they didn't have problems on defense. Rex Ryan's an outstanding defensive coach, and he's showing that today against this Tampa Bay team.
Well, I'm looking at this Seattle-Carolina game. You're looking at Russell Wilson, the most unassuming 320-yard game I've seen. And just to show no interceptions is how he pointed out to me earlier, which is the most important thing with him, especially with the development of a young quarterback.
All right, that game is over right now. The Jets 1-point lead inside 4 minutes left as they take on Tampa Bay, trying to hold on and get to 1-0 in the young season. Now let's send it out to the Meadowlands, where Kevin Burkhardt and the gang will take it over.
Built on that confidence, has been patient too. Here is 2nd and 11. Hill boggled but corrals. And Tampa Bay, I believe, is going to call their first timeout. The Saints beat the Falcons today. Seahawks in a low-scoring affair over the Panthers 12-7. I'd like to welcome those audiences here to New Jersey. MetLife Stadium, a warm, sunny day where the Jets are holding on to a 1-point lead over the Buccaneers. 2.5 minutes to play. The return of that man, Darrelle Revis, who has played a decent amount and played well, but right now it's on him, John, the rookie quarterback, Geno Smith.
And I tell you, when it's mattered most, he's been really good. Last drive to go down and kick the game-winning field goal. He was 5 of 7, looked very poised, very confident. Geno Smith is getting better as this game's going on.
And the Jets are 9 of 17 on 3rd down. Trying to convert a 3rd and 4. And the Bucs will do their job. They'll force the Jets to punt it away. And that is their 2nd timeout they just called. Coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. The Packers take on the defending NFC champion 49ers, or the Cardinals take on the Rams. A full day of exciting NFL action continues next, right here on Fox. And so the Buccaneers will get the ball back, John. 2:21 to play right now. They'll have 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning remaining, so plenty of time, only trailing by a point here in the 4th.
Yeah, and a tremendous job of that.